you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda if you don't already know, and welcome back to those of you who have been here before. But if you've been here before and you still haven't subscribed, leave me a comment and tell me why. Or you could just subscribe now because it's free and it would make me really happy. So obviously today we're talking about how I quit my job and how I DoorDash full time. But before we get into that, I want to say three things. Number one, I know I said this channel was going to be about like testing products and foods and experiences and giving a review about them, and these past two have been about money. In my head, this video up here about the apps was a review on the apps, and today is just a positive review about DoorDash. But if you're here for the products, I have that coming next week, so please stick with me through these reviews. Number two, I know with anything, consistency is key, and I've been super inconsistent with these videos. I am very busy, I am trying really hard, so thank you for sticking around. Number three, do not go out and quit your job because Amanda said so, and then come leave me a comment and say, I'm homeless now because I listened to your advice, because I'm gonna feel really bad, but it's not my fault. Take everything I say today with a grain of salt. You know your situation better than anybody else, and just keep that in mind when you're watching. Other than that, just a really quick synopsis. I'm a graduate student. I was working full time, hated my job, started DoorDashing a little bit, realized, oh, there is some real money in this. And then I didn't like my job, so I quit and do this full time. If you're already a DoorDasher, I will leave the timestamps down in the description so that you don't have to watch the how-to, but I am gonna do a how-to, how to maximize your money, and then just some pros and cons about DoorDash. So let's get into the video. All right, so first things first, how do I become a DoorDasher? So you want to download the DoorDash app where you would actually purchase food. Then you're gonna scroll down to your profile and they ask if you wanna become a Dasher. Then they prompt you to their website. They ask you a bunch of questions, just your name, your number, your address, things like that. You do have to be over 18 years old, you have to have car insurance, and you have to have a clean driving record. But after I did all that, it literally took them 15 minutes to tell me that I was approved. So then it took them about 7 days to send me my DoorDash materials. I don't recommend DoorDashing without these just because you could, but it could just get you into a mess. So they give you a red card that I'll talk about in a minute, and this DoorDash bag. You also need to make sure that you download the Dasher app because that is not the same as the DoorDash. So it looks like this up here, and that's where you'll get all your dashes from. So now you have all of your materials, you're ready to dash. So you go into the Dasher app, and like some, you can DoorDash whenever you're ready if it's busy. That is a key point. So this is what it'll look like if it's busy. I know Uber Eats, things like that, you can just get on whenever, do it whenever. This is not the case. It has to be busy, and if it's not, you need to schedule yourself. So you'll go into scheduling, and then you will look into what days and times are available in what area. So I'm available from 5 to 6 to dash, and it says this time is available. I'll click on it and I will change the time to work for me. But if I'm 30 minutes late, it will cancel my dash. So you can start up to 15 minutes before and up to like 25 minutes after that scheduled time. So that's how you do that, and it's super important to schedule because you might think you're about to make some money today and then it's not busy, so you never get to dash. The more dashes you have, the sooner in advance you'll be able to schedule that. So let's get into how a dash works. Okay, so you're on the schedule, you're about to dash. Now, what are you gonna do? So, when you get a dash, it'll pop up on your screen and it looks like this. This tells you how many miles you're gonna have and the minimum pay that you're going to get. So, that minimum means that if they end up tipping you more, if you do a really good job, then you might get more than that's here, but you're not going to get less. So, if you're okay with what this looks like, you go ahead and dash. You're gonna click directions in that little DoorDash page that pops up, and it'll take you right to the restaurant. When you go in there, pick up this and bring it with you, because this is like a big sign that says, hey, I'm a DoorDasher, I'm not a customer. If you got a DoorDash, go ahead and bring me the food so I can get it hot and I can go. Now, this will pop up for a restaurant if you need to use your red card. This for me has been rare. When DoorDash first started, you needed this for everything. Now, maybe like one a day. So what that means is literally just that the money is on this card. You don't have to worry about how much is up there. You swipe it, you are fine. I've had people sometimes want to add something extra on. DoorDash will charge them. Money will be on the card. doesn't matter. So then you have the food, you click got the food, and then do the same thing, click on directions, and DoorDash will take you right to their location. So then with COVID, a lot of people want you to leave it at the door. So simply take a picture, hey, just dropped off your meal, go. And then you just repeat that cycle. It's super, super easy, but I know certain things pop up. For example, here are your ratings. So that on time thing can be super difficult because you're on time, but you just waited like 30 minutes for the food. What do you do about that? You can't do anything. You just have to be as nice as possible, and this may fluctuate. That's okay. This rating up here, again, as long as you're doing everything you're supposed to do, the customers will typically rate you a 4 or a 5. Sometimes the food is not good and they blame you. That's not your fault. I think the requirement, it needs to be above 4.5, I believe, and that fluctuates in different areas, so check yours. But it is not hard to maintain that, especially if you keep dashing. It changes every 100 dashes. So this 4 point whatever is only for my most recent 100 dashes. It changes every time, so you'll be fine. If you get one star review, it's not gonna ruin your DoorDash experience forever. So then the biggest thing here, this acceptance rate is what you accept on that screen. So when it pops up, you have a dash and it says, oh, well, you're gonna do this many miles for this much money. You decide what you want with that. That is not taken into consideration on whether you're allowed to be a dasher or not. This number can be whatever. That's why mine is so low, and I'll get into that in a minute. But this completion rate, super important. That means I said, yes, I'm going to dash, and then I decided, no, I don't want to go to this store, even though I already accepted it. So it's accepting it and then taking it away. That becomes an issue. I think you have to be above like 90 on that. Like you cannot just accept things and then not, because then that person is going to be waiting for food that's not coming because you said you were and then you weren't. So that is the basics on how to dash. Please let me know if I skipped something. If you have any questions, let's get into how to maximize our money. So we are back at this acceptance rate. This has been the key for me. I watched a YouTuber tell me that number did not affect if I was okay to be a dasher, and ran with it. So sometimes you will have a dash that pops up like this. I'm gonna tell you right now, I look at it and I tell DoorDash, you have lost your mind. So you click decline, this will pop up, they'll be like, why? And you tell them why. I always click, distance too far or whatever, because that is just so unrealistic. Because yes, that's the lowest you could get. It could be higher, but sometimes it's not. So you're getting paid that for wasting a bunch of miles and time. But you have one pop up like this, you take it. So with that number not mattering, you need to decide what is best for you. Sometimes if you've had a slow day and you want to accept something small because at least you get something, that is totally fine. But know that that does not affect you, and that is up to you. I have declined the small ones before, and 2 seconds later got one that was worth like 5 times that amount. So keep that in mind. Another thing that sounds like common sense is you have to be really nice to the customers. So this means if you are at a restaurant, right, and it's communication is key. So you pull up and they say, oh, it's gonna be 10 minutes on your food. Well, you message that DoorDasher, hey, this is so-and-so, just wanna let you know I'm at the restaurant, but your food is not quite ready yet. Half the people won't respond, but the ones that do really appreciate that. And I find that in that sense, my tip is higher than it was at the initial starting point for DoorDash. So that communication piece, and then when you drop it off, if they don't want to see you, they want you to leave it at the door, hey, just dropped off your order, have a good day. Those little pieces go such a long way. Even if it doesn't affect your money, it affects your rating, and that will end up giving you more DoorDashes, because DoorDash gives the initial dashes to the people that are more experienced and have super high ratings. If Bob on the street has the minimum of like a 4.5 and I'm out here with my little 4 point whatever, and we're both in the same distance to the restaurant, they're gonna give it to me. So keep that in mind. Another thing is the time of day you do it. I typically dash lunchtime, so between 10 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. So during those times, I get dashes back to back to back. Then again from 5 to 9 because that's dinner time, back to back. If you get on every day from like 3 to 5, usually the in-between times, and you don't get anything, definitely check what time you're getting on and see when it's actually busy, because that could be holding you back. Another thing is usually at the times where people aren't door dashing, like dashers are not out there, they will give a peak pay. So for me, I am not comfortable dashing when it's dark. They will snatch me up, I can't see, I get scared. So DoorDash from like 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. almost always does like a $3 peak pay. So for me in my area, the minimum you can get per dash is $3. That means nobody tipped, nothing. So if the peak pay is $3, that means you'll actually get a minimum of $6 per dash for every single dash. So if they were gonna give you like 5, you're getting $11. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me know if that's confusing. But that is the best time to do it. I don't do that myself because I'm afraid, but if you feel comfortable with that, maximize your money. Another way to make money on DoorDash too is picking up more than one order. That's not up to you, but I know that they offer it to you and it can be overwhelming. So say I'm at Chili's, and for me in my area, there's an IHOP right by the Chili's. I'm at Chili's waiting for Bob's Noodles. I get a notification, it'll look like this. Oh, you're right by IHOP. Do you want to pick up this order for IHOP? Say yes. They're giving you that order because you're close to the restaurant and the delivery point is not in the opposite direction of where you're already going. It may be like 5 minutes out of the way, but you're making more money just by doing that. But also you need to pay attention here. Same way with an original DoorDash, they might offer you $2 for 6 extra miles. Then you say no, I'm not doing that, and you push it to the side. Again, acceptance rate does not matter. Now, let's get into the pros and cons. All right, let's go ahead and get the cons out of the way so that we can talk about the good. I'd say there's like 5 solid cons. Con number 1, some restaurant owners have DoorDash. Their employees don't like that the owners have DoorDash. So they get mad because, you know, they're working on their regular customers, and then DoorDash comes in, they have to stop what they're doing and make the DoorDash. So you might get, you know, hit with a little bit of attitude. Just brush it off, they don't pay your bills, and you move on, but just expect that. Number 2, again with the restaurant, a lot of times if there are in-person customers, they'll get prioritized, so your DoorDash gets pushed to the side. Then you walk in, and they have to rush and make that for you because they were just kind of pushing it off. Because in the restaurant's defense, some DoorDashers say they're gonna be there in like 10 minutes and then don't show up for like 50 minutes. So you just never really know what to expect in that aspect. Number 3, the wait time. So a lot of restaurants are really good about just go ahead and sitting it there, you pick it up, you leave. But sometimes, you know, I've been to restaurants, I know, and it's consistently usually the same ones that I come in and I'm gonna have to wait for like 20 minutes. You can't really do anything in that time. Like, sure, you could go get gas, you could go get you a snack, but you can't make money while you're waiting for that. So that is another con. You just have to be patient sometimes and just sit there and wait. A lot of restaurants will be nice, offer you a drink, things like that, but what can you do? Con number 4. Sometimes customers are just, they don't get it, okay? So I accepted the order, I picked up the order, I'm on the way. Like, I'm 2 minutes from their house. Oh, can you get me like, you know, barbecue sauce and this and that? No, sis, I'm already almost at your house. Then they'll leave you a bad rating. You gotta push it to the side. Again, any service industry, you're gonna have rude people, unorganization, things like that, but you gotta roll with it. Number 5 is the wear and tear on your car. You're going to be driving a lot of miles, you're going to be paying for a lot of gas, so just keep that in mind. There are some mile tracking things. I have a suggestion down here, I'll link below, it's Stride. Keep track of your miles. You're gonna probably need oil changes more often, things like that. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, I lied, one more con. Sometimes you're just gonna be like really confused, so be patient. A lot of houses like order DoorDash and don't even think about the fact that like, oh, my house number is not like right outside my house. Like, my mailman is able to find me, so DoorDash should be able to too. No, a lot of people are great and have the description if they know they're hard to find, but sometimes you'll just be driving around in circles. So just keep that in mind. They're not all like that, and be patient with it. let's get into the pros. A lot of these are common sense, but it's just something that sometimes you just don't think about. Like number one, you can dash at any time. So I feel comfortable waking up at 10 a.m. That's when my day starts. If I'm busy, I have plans at 2, dash from 10 to 1, I'm done. Sometimes you'll make great money, sometimes you won't, which I guess I could have put in the con area, but the thing is, depending on where you live, you already kind of get a sense of, do I have a lot of restaurants in my area? If you don't, you can always go to another location. I'm from a really small town. I now live in a decent sized one, but before I would come here instead and do my DoorDashing here. So you can work in really any location as long as they have DoorDash. I don't even know what number that is. I'm not gonna keep track of the numbers. Another pro for DoorDash is just that you can work as many hours as you want. So certain apps, I think Instacart maybe, you have to work like a minimum of 10 hours. This week for DoorDash, which not good for paying bills, but I've worked like 3 hours. I've been just very, very busy. No penalizing for that. You can work over 40 hours. There's no overtime or whatever, but you get paid a decent amount, so you can just work as much as you want. That is the next pro. There is good money in DoorDash. So as long as you live in a town with a decent population, you will make money. So there's been days, I've made only like $10 an hour, which is still decent because at some jobs, you're getting $10 an hour and you're taxed on it, while other places, you're getting $12 an hour, but after tax, you're still getting about $10. This tax-free, I usually average about $16 an hour on DoorDash, and I've made up to like $27, $28 an hour. It just depends. So there's good money, you just have to stick with it because it can be a little bit frustrating at times. Another pro, and a lot of people don't think about this because it could be the annoying part too, some of the customers are so wonderful. I get repeat customers all the time because my town isn't like huge like New York City. There's a decent amount where I can make money, but I keep running into the same people, so it's wonderful. You get accustomed to the customers sometimes, even though it varies. You get really accustomed to the restaurant, so you get to know like the employees and the owners, and you build relationships in that sense. Another pro with DoorDash, I would say, is that there is this pause dash button. So let's say I'm doing something and I finish one dash and I'm like, I want to keep dashing, but I really gotta, go to the bathroom. I really gotta get food or whatever. You can pause it. You can stop for 35 minutes and pick right back up where you left off. So it's very, very easy. Last but not least, I would say the pro is you're just chilling, okay? You are always just chilling. You're driving in your car, listening to your music, do whatever you want, and you drop off the food, you're chilling again. You pick up the food, you're chilling again. I don't know, it's just, I really like it. You have to, budget, so you have to be committed to it. So I can't be out here working like this week 3 hours and think that that's gonna pay my bills. I usually do about 20 hours a week, so still not even full time, and I'm able to meet my bills. So with a full 40 hours, I can't even imagine what you guys would be able to do if you choose to do that. All right, so I know that was a lot of information, kind of all over the place. I really did have this whole video planned out, and then my brain just started going everywhere. So if you do want me to do like a ride with me and DoorDash so you can actually see it in action, comment that down below. If you are confused about the tax situation, because I know I only talked for like 2 seconds about it, I can make a video on that, comment down below. Or if you have any questions at all, just let me know, and I'm very happy to talk to you guys about it. Anyway, thank you guys for coming to my channel as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe.